to another Mindfulness Mondays video. So today I want to talk to you about the three pillars, or the three legs or practices that are the foundation of any mindfulness practice. And those three important components or pillars or practices are concentration, clarity, and equanimity. So concentration, clarity, and equanimity. And every mindfulness practice works on boosting or supporting these three attributes in your life and incorporating them into your daily practice, off the meditation cushion, off the yoga mat, out into your everyday life. So concentration is kind of what I've been leading you up to, as being able to pay attention, to start learning to hone and focus our mind at the very gross level, to stop being so multitasking and distracted in your everyday life, to be able to concentrate, to be able to focus, to be able to pay attention. And then as you start to incorporate a practice of mindfulness or meditation into your life, you start to get into the more subtle layers of that. And by that I mean being able to hold states of concentration, of being concentrated in the present moment for longer periods of time throughout your day, for minutes, hours, longer chunks of time throughout the day, to be concentrated in the present moment. The second component is clarity, is seeing things as they really are. We have such mind-made stories and ways of thinking, and just BS, literally. Our mind is constantly creating these stories or creating our world around us by the thoughts that often are not even true. And so part of a mindfulness practice is coming to a place of clarity to see what BS stories your mind builds up and tells you, or what you think about that person's thoughts and that person's things, which we know we can never even experience because we're not in that person's head or in that person's experience. So it's seeing things with a clarity. Again, at the more gross levels, starting to see things a little bit more clearly, to see when our mind and our ego arises up. Oh, that's just the mind. That's just a thought in my head. It doesn't mean it's true. It's just a projection or a thought from my ego or from my own mind. And to be able to see that clearly, and at the deeper, more subtler level, to see with a clarity, with a naked, honest truth, a clarity of the bigger picture things that are going on, to see the systems that are put in place in politics, in religion, in our life, in our finances, in all of our attachments to all of these things, to start to see with clarity. And then also even deeper, to see from moment to moment as you stay concentrated longer periods of time, to be able to see from moment to moment with clarity what's going on inside our body, to see clearly, oh, that's just a sensation, or that's just an emotion rising up. And it's something that this little body, this little bag of bones is experiencing. Oh, and then I see my thought go off to the races and run with that emotion. Or to see with clarity what's really going on. Instead of living in this kind of malaise or this facade that we're often living in at the surface level, it's to go deeper and see some more truths. Maybe it's the truths about our own nature, our own human nature, our own individual nuances that we each are working on to maybe help us to become more effective, more passionate, more creative, more plugged in, more focused, all those things. To see those habit patterns is another thing. To see clearly, with clarity, what do I do that puts a roadblock in front of my own path? What am I doing to block my own path, or whatever it is? So clarity in many different realms comes in, but we have to learn first to concentrate or to focus and start to pay attention so that we can see with clarity. And then the last thing is, as these things come up, these emotions, these the clarity of seeing, just the Maya, the madness of the mind, or the thoughts that are really not, that's not really us, or these emotions, to be able to see them, to feel the sensations that emotion causes in our body, or those thoughts cause in our body, and not to react to them, or to be present in the moment, and without reaction we are able to take the right action if action is necessary in that moment, and to not be so judgmental, but to just sit in equanimity, to be able to sit with whatever arises in that present moment without rushing to judgment, rushing to old habit patterns of doubt, of fear, all those things. We're changing that habit pattern, that gestalt of going, oh, this is an emotion. And prior to my mindfulness practice, or me being a little bit mindful and aware and having clarity and being present, I would have reacted in this way. But instead, I'm going to sit with it and feel with that sensation of anger or fear or jealousy, pick your emotion, whatever comes up, and to be able to sit with it and just feel, oh, this is what it's doing to my body. And at the cellular level, you guys, and at the level of, the endocrine system, the level of, the hormones and chemicals that those emotions produce in our body on a daily basis, and to just see all of that and not react, so that we can come to this place that can wash through us again without dragging us around like a rag doll and us reacting to every little thing. What we're trying to do is get out of the habit pattern of reaction to everything, and instead, if we have to take action, taking the right action, or not, maybe even taking an action at all, just sitting with that sensation or that feeling or that thought. So the next part of this video is a practice that you can do, a mindfulness practice that helps you work with all of these things: concentration, clarity, and equanimity. And it is a meditation practice of Anapana. It's a focused meditation practice. So how you do this is clear out the room, find a space where you can, be quiet, be by yourself, tell everyone to leave you alone for a few minutes, for however long you want to do this for. You can set a timer for it. You can do it for 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes or however long. And each time you do this practice, see if you can sit in the practice a little bit longer and a little bit longer. And this practice is threefold. First of all, we're focusing on the breath, and we're focusing on this little triangle space of the nose. And we're just bringing our attention, or concentrating our attention just to the nose, to the breath, to the nose, and to whatever sensations come in and out and around the nose area. And every time our mind wanders away, again, we concentrate, we bring our focus back. And then we have that second prong, clarity, where we see clearly, we feel the sensations of the nose, and then we see clearly the mind wandering away, and we bring it back without judging. So we have equanimity. Oh, my mind wanders. I can't do this. I'm bad at this. All these thoughts. We just allow whatever sensations come up, and we stay in that state of concentrated present awareness. So when you're ready, you can do this lying down, but often I find that if you're a new meditator, it's hard to stay awake if you're lying down, but you want to either lie down so you have a flat spine, or sit up tall so that you have a flat spine. So you can come to any comfortable seated position, cross-legged on the floor. You can use a meditation cushion, you can sit in a chair, just come to some comfortable seat. And if you're seated in a chair and you're not sitting cross-legged, it's just put both soles of the feet flat on the earth beneath you, and find a place where you can kind of settle in and just close the eyes and maybe give a little wiggle and let out an ah. We do this yawn to reset the cadence and the rhythm of the breath, just to reset back to your bare breath, your organic breath. Part of this practice is being in tune with, concentrating on being aware of, not judging your natural bare breath. So if it's deep, it's deep. If it's shallow, it's shallow. If the right nostril is plugged and you're breathing through the left nostril, you're just being aware of what's going on with your breath. And then when you're ready, closing the mouth, so you're inhaling and exhaling through the nose. just start to hone that concentration, that attention, that awareness. Bring it into the nose and see what you feel there. Maybe you feel the cool of the breath on the inhale. Maybe you feel the breath is a little hotter on the exhale. Maybe you feel one side of the nose is clogged up. Maybe you feel the nose hair follicles in the nose. Maybe you feel the touch of the breath as you exhale, maybe across the lips. Maybe you don't. It doesn't matter what you feel, just notice and be aware. And then again, every time the mind starts to wander away, we come back to this place of concentration, attention, bringing all of our attention back to the nose, to the breath. And again, just sitting in equanimity, non-judgment of what's going on. And part of being in equanimity is not going, oh, am I doing this right? How long we're going to do this? Just laughing at those little thoughts that come up, not judging them. And I'm just going to invite you to stay here as long as you like. When you're ready to, blinking the eyes open. And try this practice for a week. Once you try it once or twice with a video, you'll be able to do it all on your own. And no right or wrong way to do it. And oftentimes, if you're wondering if you're doing it right, that means you're on the right path. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them below. So thanks for joining me today for Mindfulness Mondays. Namaste.